Before I start the video, I just want to give credit to Overlord Actual for the gameplay. The link to his channel will be in the description. Now onto the video. The Battlefront games were perhaps the most fun and well-polished Star Wars games, and everyone was glad to see them represent the Star Wars franchise. However, these days, with major corporations taking over such franchises, many fans, including myself, claim that the quality of the games has gone downhill. It is not just the visual quality, but playability. But what makes these classic games so much better? The content? The nostalgia? Well, we will be covering that today, between the old Battlefront 2 and the new Battlefront 2. First of all, we will be covering visual effects in general. Obviously, we are covering two games from very different time periods, but there is a way that we can pit them against each other. When it comes to the time periods that these games each came out, with classic Battlefront 2 coming out in 2005 and new Battlefront 2 coming out in 2017. Each of these games having good graphics. For Battlefront 2005's, Battlefront 2's graphics were average to good, depending on your settings, and the same can be said about the new Battlefront 2, even though it is more polished. It was never graphics that set apart the two games, however. Battlefront 2 in its earliest stage was a passion project. The devs made sure to release a lot of content at first with its release. They added fan-favorite heroes, made decent-sized maps and open maps, had a decent campaign following the events of the Clone Wars, and had a balance between the Clone Wars era and Rebel era content. The campaign in the classic Battlefront 2 was filled with detail. The missions were long and they felt fulfilling. There were many objectives, but each had a different goal rather than just kill so-and-so many enemies. It was also a plus that the campaign connected us even more to our favorite characters. One thing that I really loved about the campaign is that you could experience the story from any perspective. You were never forced to be just one character, such as Iden Versio. Do you want to enact Order 66 as a sharpshooter clone? Well, go for it. How about fight the forces about General Grievous as a regular assault class? Go for it. What about fighting Grievous himself as the one and only Obi-Wan Kenobi? Well, you're in luck. It was the flexibility, the duration, the detail, and the variety that really made the classic Battlefront 2 campaign a blast. It got hard at some points, but that is just another thing that the campaign does right. Battlefront 2005 had a special charm that drew everybody in. How about that multiplayer? Now, Battlefront 2005's multiplayer was probably one of the best multiplayer experiences, especially in Star Wars, besides the Old Republic games. Obviously, the servers were not as good then as they are today, but that is just due to limited technology. This multiplayer was absolutely amazing. It had even more variety than the campaign. It had so many different modes, too many to count, over 20 different maps almost, and a variety of sides to choose from and people to play. Another great addition was the specificity in the maps. Like on Geonosis, there were the ray cannons that the Geonosians used, and you could just hop on one and destroy everybody, along with different land vehicles specific to that battlefield. Perhaps the most great thing about the game, and the thing that we will finish on, is the fact that nothing was locked behind a paywall, and there were no loot boxes. Everything in the game was unlocked from the start. There were absolutely no pay-to-win elements or pay-to-look-good elements in the game. You had whatever gun it gave you, and your only objective was to kill the enemy team. In the end, I think it was a lack of corporate greed and loot boxes, plus the nostalgia and the simplicity that made the game out to be one of the most reminiscent Star Wars games out there. In the end, though, this is all just my opinion. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about it all down in the comments below. Also, be sure to let me know what you guys want to see next. Secondly, if you like the video, be sure to hit that like button to show your support. And lastly, be sure to hit subscribe as it really means a lot to me and helps me out quite a bit. Now, as always, may the Force be with you all. Until next time.